Setting up your first home network? We'll show you how this hour on Call for Help.
I hope these people can help me with my computer. A technician will be with you in 4 hours.
4 hours?
You can upgrade for just $5,000.
What?
The Universal Serial Config Board should be set to ID6.
I need that in plain English. Help!
Leo Laporte to Call for Help. May I help you? It's time for Call for Help. How are you? Good to see you, Leo Laporte. Welcome to the show today. This is the show where we're going to show you how to get the most out of personal technology, computers, cell phones, DVD players, camcorders, anything with a chip in it, anything you might hook up to a computer. That's what we cover on the show, the internet. And I've got my Call for Helpers with me, the official gang. Monica Latanwa and Andy Walker. How you doing? You missed it. We had a wonderful dinner last night, Andy and I.
I had to work. I had a lot of stuff to prepare for the show.
You went home to work
today.
on the show?
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. Now making me feel guilty.
And we're out drinking.
Yeah, we're out having a good time.
Slaving at home.
We went to Nona's, right?
Nona's, yeah, on Tecumseh.
What neighborhood is that? Is that a neighborhood?
It's Bathurst and King, so just west of the theater district.
See, Vac, our producer, he's like Mr. Toronto, right? He claims, I know everything in Toronto. I'll take you out, So he says, we got to go to Nona's. And he says, it's a queen in Bathurst. No, a king in Bathurst. I don't know where it is. Anyway, so we found it.
We did, yeah.
And it was outside. It was beautiful.
It's hidden. It's actually quite hidden. Place. You can't just, find
so much
it.
Fun.
It's beautiful.
Toronto's many secrets.
Guy who's been running it is, we said, so you're Italian? I said, no, I'm Irish, actually. But I've been cooking Italian for a long time. And I like it, too. So, I don't know.
It's amazing.
It was great.
Beautiful.
It was really
the atmosphere is great.
I'm having so much fun in Toronto.
Waiter grew up with Geddy Lee.
That's right. We found out why Geddy... You know what? That would be a good trivia question. How Geddy Lee got his name. Yeah. Should we save it or should we tell people?
Let's later in the show.
All right, later in the show.
Okay,
Stay tuned for that. Actually, we've got a great show coming up for you. We're going to have fun with pointers. Pointers for office. Fun with office pointers, because our office expert, Jim Sanderson, is here. He's going to show you how to use, put pictures, illustrate your documents in Microsoft Word. Andy Walker is going to show you how you can set up a home network. A lot of people are starting to do that now. As soon as you get a second computer, all of a sudden you want to share the internet between both computers, and yep, you got to do a network. It's not as hard as you might think. Andy will show you how. But Monica's going to show you how to get weather without getting spied on.
Phew.
You don't have to look out your window. And you don't have to get spied on.
Yeah.
So who's our first caller for the day?
We have Charlie Scott from Newburyport, Massachusetts.
Is it Charlie or is it Scott? It's Charlie?
Charlie.
Charlie from Newburyport. Hello, Charlie.
How you doing, Leo?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Oh, not too bad.
That's great to have you on the show. Welcome.
Oh. Sorry about that.
Nice guy, eh? What can I do for you, Charlie?
I recently bought a AMD chip. I purchased a 2700 plus, and when I go into my computer, it says I only have a 1500 plus.
Oh! Did you get robbed or what? What says you only have 1500? Is it the you have a program or your computer's BIOS or?
I just go into the system hardware and.
When you write, okay, and you say, "Tell me about my computer." This is we got the wrong setup here. I'll have to fix this. Monica set this computer up, didn't she? I know, because I recognize Monica's style. She put shortcut icons for my computer on the desktop. Yeah, I remember that. So you right-click on my computer. Don't hide, Monica.
No.
It's okay. You right-click on my computer, and you're looking right here. Well, wait a minute. I have an Athlon 2800 here, and it says I'm at 2.08 gigahertz. What the heck? We both got ripped off. Wait a minute. Here's another way to tell. This is a great program from H. Oda. It's kind of a classic. No one knows H. Oda. Japanese guy. Let me get the right browser open here. Japanese guy who wrote this program, keeps it up to date, lives in complete obscurity, but has wrote the program WCPUID, which is, and it now comes with a little clock program. And watch, this is a really great way to see how fast your processor is. Right there. Windows said it was 2.08. Well, hey, excuse me, it's 2.07954. So what happened? I mean, I have a 2800 too. Mine's a little faster than yours. Charlie, I'm guessing you have the new 64-bit Athlon, don't you?
Yes, I do.
You have an FX.
Yep.
So here's what it is. And I think this is completely legitimate. AMD decided not to go by the clock speed of the processor, but by how fast the processor is. Well, wait a minute. Are those the same thing? No. The clock speed is how many cycles a second the processor does, and in your case, it does about 1,500 cycles a second. Now, how many instructions a second it does is a different number. That's how many things it can do. And some processors now can do as many as 2 instructions per cycle. So you can't really judge the speed of the processor on how many cycles. Cycles is just it's an electrical thing. How many cycles it's going through. So more and more, in fact, Intel's doing this now too. They don't really talk. In the new chips, they're not really saying the clock speed. They're giving them kind of BMW-style appellations. It's the 755M. And that's because it really doesn't apply to the performance of the chip. So AMD, but Cyrix did this most notably years ago, and everybody kind of mocked them. AMD's been doing it, and they've been doing it a little bit more honestly, I think. The performance rating of the chip is what you're seeing when you see 2700 plus. That's not its clock speed, that's its performance rating. What AMD says is that's how fast the chip would be if it were a Thunderbird, their older, simpler chip. Most of us think of it as that's how fast it would be if it were a Pentium. AMD doesn't say the P word, but really that's how you can think of it. In my experience, it's actually not only accurate, but even a little conservative. A 2800 plus Athlon, to me, is actually a little bit faster than a 2.8 gigahertz Pentium 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially your chip, because you got the 64-bit. Now, just so you know, here's how they figure out the performance rating on the 64-bit chips. They take the actual clock speed, in your case 1500, they multiply it times 3, that's 4500. They divide it by 2, that's 2250, and they add 400, that's 2650. What? But that's what they do. I guess it's based on benchmarks, but they're saying because the 64-bit chip is so efficient, does so much in 1.5 gigahertz of cycles, it actually performs as well as a chip, an Intel chip or a Thunderbird chip that's running at 2.8 gigahertz at 2800 cycles. And so you didn't get ripped off. You got exactly what you bought. It's just confusing because we normally think of that number that goes next to the chip name as the CPU cycle speed, and it's not in this case. And I have the same thing here. I have a 2800 plus. I have a lesser chip than you do, and it's running at 2 gigahertz. It's actually running faster than yours, but it's not any faster in performance than yours.
Right.
Does that make sense?
You know what? It does now because everybody keeps telling me I've gotten ripped off.
You didn't get ripped off. In fact, you were really smart. You bought what I consider the best x86 processor on the market today.
Wow, that makes me feel a lot better.
You should feel better. That's really that's a great chip, and we recommend it for gaming. It is the best chip out there. Okay, well, Charlie, don't feel bad.
Well, Leo, I really appreciate your help.
My pleasure. It's great to talk to you.
All right, thank you.
Take
Leo.
care. Hey, when we come back, the inside secrets to assembling a home network. I know you want to do it. Andy, the Cyberwalker, he is here. He's going to, we just call him Donny Osmond. Stick around. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere. Look, I got the CN Tower. Welcome back to Call for Help. Well, nowadays, many people are on their second, third, fourth, fifth computer, and as soon as you have more than one computer in the house, suddenly the mind turns to thoughts of networking. Andy Walker is here with the inside secrets of an industry pro on how to assemble your own home network. Even a novice, he says, can do this.
Even a novice.
Everybody's doing it now.
Everybody can be a network administrator.
It is a lot easier than it used to be. It used to be you really did have to kind of have some expertise, but now you go to the store, buy stuff, and it's all there because everybody's doing it.
It's plug and play. Yeah. Some great software out there, great tools. They're all cheap too.
Where do we start?
Well, I like to think of starting in the middle of it. Well, like the human body. Imagine the human body is a network. Well, your heart.
Yeah.
Right, is where everything goes to and comes from.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you need, a network router.
Okay.
That is the heart of your network.
That's where it all comes, kind of the center of the hub of the wheel.
Right.
Okay.
So the internet comes into this device from your cable modem.
Right.
And then on the back of this baby is little ports.
That's really what most people want to network for, is to share internet.
Right.
So this is kind of splitting it out into every computer. And this wireless thing will let it go even through the air.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy these without the antenna. I'm not going to take it off, but you know, and for an extra 20-30 bucks, you can get one with it wireless.
Right. These are inexpensive. They're called routers.
Routers or home network gateways. There's all kinds of different
broadband routers. There's a lot of different. What it's doing, though, if you think about it, makes sense. It's routing traffic to the computers, just like a director of a train system would be doing. And go this way, go this way, go this way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, if you've got desktop computers, the chances are you're going to want to connect through those little ports in the back.
I've got a desktop computer
with a network cable. Oh, big muscles.
Here's a desktop computer.
Yeah.
So this has now this one already has a network card installed.
It does, and most do these days. When you buy a new computer, you're going to get a network card.
So the network card is where on here?
The network card is this big oversized telephone-looking outlet here.
It looks like a phone jack, but it's a little bigger.
It is. In fact, this little baby here, these are called Cat5 cables, and I'm going to plug them in like that.
So that's an RJ45 connector going into a Cat5 cable. I hope you're taking notes on all of this.
Right. And this is going into your
router.
router.
And then the other end goes into the router.
Where's our router gone? There it is.
So if you don't have one of these ports in the back, you can buy a card that goes in. You can even on wireless networks buy a little dongle that plugs in the USB port and hangs off.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, wired you could do that too. A little Ethernet to USB connector, and then you don't have to open the box if you're nervous about opening the box.
That's right.
So this is now in the back in the Wi-Fi router.
And there's something called WAN, a WAN port on the end. This is where your cable modem goes in here.
That stands for Wide Area Network. Let's move this so we can see.
Yeah.
That's kind of separated out. That's how you know it's the WAN port. Right. W-A-N.
W-A-N, Wide Area Network.
Okay. So that will the cable modem or the DSL modem will go into that,
right,
and it will be shared amongst these other ports.
There you go.
Got it.
So that's the wired network, and you may not wonder. I mean, my mom hates these colored cables.
Yeah, I gotta say, you didn't choose the most attractive look.
No, but I wired their home office.
Do they have mauve, taupe?
They do have purple.
Purple,
but
okay.
You know, and I haven't seen a lot of black ones, but you say there's some black ones out there.
There are black, but you're right. I mean, even a black cable, it's ugly.
It's ugly.
So there might be a better way than cabling.
So ideally, what you could do is to go entirely wireless.
Yeah, I think nowadays everybody is. I'm embarrassed because for years we recommended, open the walls, put in Cat5 cable. If you're remodeling, if you're building a new house, make sure you have lots of this in there. Nowadays, you don't need it.
Yeah.
Just do this.
No, that's right. Exactly.
These aren't much more expensive, as you said, just
$20 or $30 extra, you know. Yeah. And so, but if you're going to, you can typically go wireless with your laptops.
Right.
Have built-in wireless functionality. But you can also get PCI connectors.
Oops.
In fact, we have a couple over there.
Should we remove your?
Let's remove this before we pull everything apart.
So we've got the hardware.
Let's just talk quickly about.
Oh, you want to do these wireless connectors here?
Desktops. You don't think of desktops as being a wireless device, but actually you can. Let's say this is the computer's up in the kids' room, and you want to run yellow Cat5 cables up and down the stairs.
No.
So you put one of these babies inside the back, PCI slot in the back of your desktop, and it has an antenna, and it will talk to this antenna.
Although, I have to say nowadays, I really recommend you get the external USB adapters. They work fine. They're cheap. They're $30 or $40. You don't have to open the case. And because they hang out, they often give you better reception because you can move them, you can reposition them. They have antennas, so you can actually put them up somewhere so they get better results. But either way, it's easy to add and it's inexpensive. Those are about the same price, $30, $40.
$30, $40, yeah.
Cool. All right. And then what?
And then you have to configure the whole thing.
Because we got the physical stuff done.
Right. So these will often come with a disk that you basically install into a computer, and it will actually do the auto configuration for you.
That's nice.
It's very nice. If you really are a sucker for punishment, and you really
by hand?
want to, if you want to do it by hand, you can actually physically go into the router itself by.
Did we lose our computer here? What happened?
Let's try it again.
Did you go to the right one? You're going to 3?
Going to 3.
Oh well.
Oh well. That doesn't matter. But, we can talk about this. Actually, let's go back here.
You can show it on here, can't you?
I can.
So, you actually, Windows has the settings that you can do it directly in Windows.
You open your browser.
Yeah.
In Windows itself. Yeah, you can actually go into.
Do you have to do that, or do you just do it from the browser?
When it comes to, most of the time, there's something called DHCP, which is...
it's kind of automated.
It's an automated smart assignment of end addresses from the router.
And that's what's by default, so all you'd have to do is just plug it in. Usually.
Windows XP is particularly easy. How's it on the Mac side?
Just as easy. It's just kind of automatic.
It's kind of plug
in fact, if you come in within range of a wireless network on most Mac laptops, you'll just be on it. automatically. The only problem is somewhere around here where we have count them, 4 wireless networks, I have to choose the right one. But I don't think you'll have that problem in your home. Well, that's it. It's not too complicated. It's going to be about, what, maybe $100 or less for the router, and then each computer you're talking about maybe $50 at most Canadian.
Yeah, and probably not if they're newer computers because they'll have the network built in and the cables. You got to buy the cables too if you want.
Yeah, they're not too expensive. No. All right, you can read all about it on the website callforhelptv.com. And now it's time for our daily quiz. This is going to be one from, I think, an earlier show where Andy taught you how to do this. How do you find your IP address? Do you look in IE properties? You check the outhouse door? Do you open up the case? Or do you use IP config? Get to the website, give us your answer. We'll talk about it a little later on. This Call for Help continues. Hi, welcome back to Call for Help. I'm Leo Laporte, and that's Monica Latanwa. And I think she has our next caller of the show.
Yes, I do. We've got Justin from Waynfleet, Ontario.
Hey, Justin, how are you?
Good. Hi, Leo.
Hi. What can I do for you today, sir?
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How do I change the name of a screensaver in the display panel after it has been installed?
So you have a screensaver and you don't like its name?
No, in the display panel, yeah.
Yeah, you want to change that name?
Yep.
No more, whatever it is. All right, well, there really isn't an easy way. Let me show you where the screensaver is, and I'll show you. I will show you how you can do it, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
So all the screensavers, or most of the Windows screensavers, are stored in the Windows/System32 directory. Easy way to find all the screensavers is just to do a search for star.scr.
Okay.
Screensavers, by the way, are exe. They're standard executables that have been renamed to .scr. That's it.
Okay.
So they're standard executable files. These are all the screensavers here that I've found so far, and most of them are in the Windows System32 folder. If I open and I select Properties on a screensaver, you'll see that there is the official, there's the file name, and then there's the description, which is the actual information that is picked up by the display control panel. I'm going to do one that's a little bit more descriptive. So the file name on this one is SS3DFO, but what it really is the Direct3D Flying Object Screensaver, and that's in the description. Okay. That information is actually stored in the file itself. It's not something I can't edit it here. So when I open the display control panel and I select screensavers, these files, it's just picking these up. This is what you want to change, right? Is what shows here, right?
Yeah.
In the display properties. So it says 3D Flying Objects. Well, it's just picking that up from the file. Now, you can change it. But what it means is you're going to have to actually modify an exe on the fly using something called a hex editor. I don't know if you really want to do that, but you can. I've opened this screensaver in a hex editor, and this actually shows the actual data that's in the file. And you can find where the name is if you search through it. Eventually, you'll find where the name is. And you can modify it, but be very careful. Don't make the name any longer than the existing one is, or you'll be overwriting data, or maybe program code. You'll make it a horrible mess of it. Okay. But you could go in here and find that description somewhere in this file and modify it.
Oh, okay.
And so just make sure that the name is shorter than the one you want. Let's see. I'm seeing a lot of debug information in here, but somewhere in here there will be. You can any good hex editor. This one's a free one called XVI32, but any good hex editor will allow you to search for a string. Okay. And you'll be able to. What was the name of this? This was 3D, I think, right? 3D. Let's see if we can find 3D in here. No, I'm just finding the hex string. Well, anyway, I don't want to. I hesitate. I'll be honest with you. I hesitate to show you how to do this. I'm going to search for a text string 3D because the risk here is so great of totally munging this file up. What you should do is make a copy of it before you do this.
All right. Yep.
Change it, put it in there, see if the name changes, see if it still works. If it does, you've done the job. Okay. It's in there somewhere. On a hex editor, this is hexadecimal binary code, and that's the ASCII interpretation. That's what you want to look is on the right-hand side. You got it?
Okay.
Hey, thank you, Justin.
Thanks a lot, Leo.
I appreciate it.
Good luck with the new show.
Thank you. You gave me the chance to say hex editor on live television. I love that. How often do you get to say that? You ever play with a hex editor, Andy?
I have, actually.
It's kind of fun.
It is kind of fun, and it's important, useful for web editing, too.
There's lots of things you can do with it. Basically, what you're looking at is the actual code, the data that's in a file.
Yeah.
But if you modify a program, you got to be careful because you can modify code and then it will misbehave. It could crash. It could do awful things to your system. Hey, let's head over to Monica, see what she's got for us. She's got our free file of the day.
Ew.
Hey, Monica. That's my traveling music? Okay.
Forget the free file. Let's just dance.
I promised I wouldn't dance anymore. Hey, new computer. Look at that. Where'd you get that?
Sneak. Someone named Leo.
Leo, yeah. Okay.
Oh.
What's our free file of the day today?
Well, our free file today is Weather Watcher by Singer's Creations. And, you wake up in the morning, you want to know what the weather is like for the day, so you can decide what to wear, stuff like that. Bring an umbrella.
Now, most people would look out the window.
But not Monica. Well, but sometimes, it's one thing in the morning.
You're right.
And
Around here,
another
it's
thing in
very
the
changeable.
evening.
Yeah. Where I'm from, it's always the same. Never changes.
Oh, no, here in Toronto.
In fact, the weather forecast is often wrong. You'll watch it on TV, and it'll say, it's going to be a beautiful day, and you have thunderstorms 3 minutes later. So this is very important. This
is
updates
great.
all the time.
Yes, and what's great about this compared to other weather update programs, there's no spyware, no adware. It's been so
most
good.
of these I found have spyware in them for some reason, or adware. I did one called WeatherBug. Did you ever do WeatherBug?
Yeah.
And then you get email from a woman named Stephanie for the rest of your life.
Hi,
I'm not
Stephanie.
kidding. I still get Stephanie. You could stop sending me email. I should have downloaded this.
Yes, you should have.
So let's see.
What's great about this is, so you have this little pop-up window. Yes, it's beautiful today.
Yeah.
And let me just minimize this so it's easier to see. Okay, there we go. So you can have your current conditions right there, an hourly forecast for the day, a daily forecast. There's a detailed forecast. So you got a lot of
Where does
information.
it get this information from? Is this weather.com or?
It's weather.com. Yeah. So and here's your options. You can choose which city you're in, how frequent you want to update the information, all sorts of stuff. So
Everything you'd want.
Wallpaper.
Now, some of these guys, this is a big window. Some of these guys will sit in the system tray.
Yes.
Will this do that also?
Yes.
Okay.
So here, if I just minimize it, it'll sit right there. Can you
there's
see
the temperature, yeah.
Can you see it right there?
It's 18 degrees.
Yep, and you just got to put your little
What's
cursor
that
on it.
in real degrees?
Double it and add 30.
Double it and add 30.
66.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ish.
See, I really move over a little to the right.
Oh.
A little to the right. Where'd your
Okay,
system?
hold on.
Where'd it go?
There
I
we
don't
go.
even see it.
It's a little pop-up thing.
Oh, there it is. That's weird. I can't see it on TV.
Oh, it's going to melt
There
our
we go.
igloos.
Well, anyway, so it's always handy, and it's right there. You're working on your computer, and you just want to update yourself on the
Weather Watcher.
Yep,
How much does that
Weather Watcher.
cost?
I think it's free.
It's free! Our free file of the day.
Free.
Thank you, Monique.
You're welcome, Leo.
Right. That's our free file of the day. We're going to take a break and come back with more, including a way to modify your pointers. You may have noticed Monica yesterday had some interesting pointers.
Yeah, I put it back in the default just so I could show you
we'll show
fun
you
stuff
that
later.
And coming up, Office expert Jim Sanderson is here to tell us how to dress up those boring Word documents with a few pixels of personality. Stay right here. Lovely Toronto. Got Toronto in the background, the CN Tower in the foreground. I tell you. Welcome back to Call for Help. I'm Leo Laporte. Are your Microsoft Word documents dull and lifeless, listless, boring? Ho-hum? Well, not to worry. Jim Sanderson is here, our Office expert, to show us how to insert some pretty pixels into them. Jim, welcome. It's good to have you.
Good to be here, Leo. Thank you.
So, thank you. Office is one of those programs, Word especially, where people use 10% and then the other 90% they never use. And there's some great stuff in there.
Absolutely.
Show us.
It's a question of how deeply people want to get into this, Leo.
Well, show us some
Now,
pictures,
yeah, like,
illustrations. Look at this.
Here we are. Let's look at a Word document first, right?
Okay.
I mean, there's pictures all over the place nowadays. Webcams, cell phones, moblogs, all sorts of sources of these things. Now, suppose we have a document, get a little
Report
story
on
here.
Rio, yes.
Report on Rio, so it's a beautiful place. Maybe you've been down there.
No, I haven't. Someday.
I got
Have you?
down there. No, I haven't. So there we are.
Well, this is the closest we're ever going to get.
Bit of wishful thinking.
How do we spice this up?
Insert is where you want to go, Leo.
Okay.
And if you go down to File, this is really not a difficult
I would
process.
go to Picture.
I'm sorry. You go to Picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Good thing somebody here keeping in touch with
Okay,
reality.
yes.
Now look at the list there. You've got
Clip art.
In this case, you want from File. Okay. And here is where your housekeeping is going to come in to play a little bit, because you've got to be able to identify and locate these picture files.
Where are they? Right.
Well, exactly. And of course, it's a good idea to do a little housekeeping, as I've said. Store them in a directory.
Okay.
If you've got a lot of files, for example, from a digital camera, which people do these days, create a directory that says
Rio.
Cam files.
Right.
Here we're going to
Organize
say
them.
overlooking Rio. How about that?
We found it right in the picture.
So there you go.
Look at that.
All right. Now, you don't really have a full complement of tools to change these pictures, but they're pretty good.
So you do have some capabilities.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, there's the draw toolbar. You click on it.
What you want to do is click on it. Okay. Use the active mouse key to click on it, and the little picture bar will appear. We're using Word 2003, and you've got some pretty good options here. You can change the contrast, for example. Let's do that. See a little bit of difference.
that's nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Up and down. And there's even a way to change to grayscale.
If you're going to print on a black and white printer, you'd probably want to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, you have a few things to do. Now we're going to go back to color here. And what about moving the thing around? Well, you'll notice the little markers on the perimeter of the picture, and simply move them in any way you like. If you want to maintain the aspect ratio, you can use the corners the way you would work.
Well, let's talk about that. What is aspect ratio? I noticed when you did it just on the right, it squished it.
Yes, that's right.
So maintain the aspect ratio means not squishing it?
That's right.
Okay.
Means retaining the integrity of the original
So the
picture.
height and width are
That's right.
Okay.
So
proportional.
you have some leeway that way. Now, here's another option. While we're talking about this,
I think Vac's been there because he's saying, "Oh, Copacabana Beach." Ooh.
let's go on the internet. How about that?
All right.
All right. Pictures of Rio.
Ah.
There's all kinds of pictures out there on the internet, and I'll tell you, a great site is the. See if I get this right. I think it's the Oceanic and Atmospheric.
Oh, NOAA. Yeah, NOAA.
Fantastic. All sorts of information
Yeah,
there.
that's wonderful.
Eh?
That's the U.S. Weather Service, yeah.
So, here we go. Right-click on the picture. This is on the internet. Copy. And we'll go back into Word.
Well, so I don't have to download it. I can just copy it and paste
and we're
it
going to
in?
go for paste.
Well, that's nice to know.
Now, the only thing is this. Obviously, you have to be cognizant. You have to be careful. Not all pictures on the internet are free.
Right,
if you're
copyright,
going to
of
use
course.
them in a presentation, make sure that you...
Right. For school, it'd be okay.
Absolutely.
Nobody's going to... Dale Meyer, the photographer here, is not going to complain for using it in school. Only if you use it on a television show that would broadcast all over Canada. That would be the only reason. Anyway, so what else you got for us?
Well, that's about... there's our trip to Rio.
That's very cool.
No, there's our trip to Rio.
And can we drag it around? Can we move it in the text? I mean,
it's harder to do that. The best way to do it is to resize it with these arrows. You can push it around. Okay. Once I've done this, I can go up and down.
By inserting...
and gone.
It's gone.
All together. But we're going to... Remember, it's in the clipboard,
that's
so
cool.
Bring it back, and there we are.
Very cool.
Okay.
Jim Sanderson, our office expert, showing you how to push some pixels.
Make your documents a little more interesting.
Yeah, we're going to have more interesting tips coming up this month with Jim every week. So if you want to know more, of course, you can visit our website at callforhelptv.com. That's where you'll see all of our tips and tricks. And, of course, your website is?
DominionBusiness.ca.
Love that. DominionBusiness.ca. When we come back, more of your calls on Call for Help. Stick around. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Yeah. Don't go away. Hi, welcome back to Call for Help. Leo Laporte here. You know, the CN Tower makes a wonderful toothpick and a fine dart, so be careful, Andy. No, welcome back. Let's get another caller on the air. And Monica, who do we have?
Oh, go.
We have Rick from Kamloops, BC.
Oh, Rick from where? Fruit
Kamloops.
Loops? Kamloops. Hello,
Kamloops.
Rick. How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm very well. I don't mean to mock the name of your fine village.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, Kamloops. BC is beautiful, I know.
Oh, it's great. I love it here.
Yeah, I bet you do. Well, what can I do for you today?
I'm planning to buy Doom 3 in the future, and I want to know what video card do I really need for it.
You know, that's a great...
Do I need an ATI or NVIDIA?
What do you have right now?
I have a 3D Prophet, a 64 megabyte one.
A Prophet, wow.
Yeah, just an older one.
Yeah, you don't want a new card.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you know, the interesting thing about doing, I'm going to show you a site that actually is quite interesting. It's Kyle Bennett, who runs Hard OCP, which is a really great site for hardware reviews and stuff like that, did a review, the official Doom 3 hardware guide. And what he did is he took Doom 3, a pre-release version of Doom 3, because he wrote this just before it came out. It came out August 3rd, of course. It's been out for a while now. And he actually looked at it with a variety of different hardware. And, you know, one of the things that surprised me, I'll jump right to the conclusions here. But one of the things that surprised me is, yeah, sure, if you have the ultimate system with 2 gigabytes of RAM and an X800 video card from ATI and you know, all of the state-of-the-art stuff, you're going to get a great gaming experience. But he said that, frankly, it actually runs surprisingly well even on the less powerful machines.
Wow.
They've done a really good job, he said. Look, you know, if you want Doom 3 to look the best, you're going to want to spend lots of money and upgrade your card. But he said it looks surprisingly well on even the lower quality machines. He said a minimum is 384 megs of RAM, which is quite a surprise. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you can read the text here. Well, that's maybe too big. He said 384 megs of RAM, quite a surprise. He said, yeah, you'll benefit from 512 or more, but you don't have to have it. He says a gigabyte would be nice. 2 gigabytes if you want to see all. See, the thing is, the real question is whether you run this in ultra quality or not. And that's the real question. In fact, if you want ultra quality, you need a 512 megabyte video card. You can't even buy that yet.
When are they out, Leo?
Huh?
The 512 megabyte cards, when are they coming out?
I don't know. He says they're not. You can't even buy one.
Yeah.
But that's what ultra quality is going to require. He says an Athlon 64 would be awesome to run Doom 3, but it'll run just fine on an Intel 1.5 gigahertz Pentium 4 or an Athlon XP 1800. So you really don't need as much as you might think. Let's go down to the video card. Your Prophet is really too slow.
Yeah,
he said the ideal would be a GeForce 6800. He said they run better. If you want to get what they call the heat haze effect, which is a special effect that requires DirectX 9, you'll have to have a DirectX 9 capable card, which is one of the more modern cards. They also like the NVIDIA, the ATI card, but they say the NVIDIA 6800 is the best. The X800 did very well. NVIDIA beat the X800 on the tests here. But they do say that it'll run just fine even on an older card, especially if you're willing to do lower resolution and perhaps like at 1024 by 768, and you don't mind if you don't get all of the effects. He says the minimum is probably a GeForce 4 MX, which is still a lot faster than yours. So Rick, but you can get a GeForce 4 MX for under $100 now.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Shall we look at the Doom just to get you in the mood? Shall we look at the Doom 3 trailer?
Oh, sounds good.
I haven't bought the game yet either because I don't know if I have enough horsepower for it. It does have blood and gore and intense violence, ladies and gentlemen. Just a word of warning. This is going to be an amazing looking game. Now the trailer, remember, is done with all of the special effects and all of the high quality lighting. So this is as good as Doom is going to look. Wow. It's pretty exciting. It's the game everybody has been excited about for the last 3 years. That and Half-Life 2. What do you play right now, Rick?
I've got all the other Doom games, all the old DOS ones.
Yeah.
I have all that. I play mostly. I like shooting games.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know, your Prophet was good in its day.
That's right.
but that day has long gone.
Yeah, exactly.
So as long as you have a 1.5 gigahertz processor, I would recommend 512 megs of RAM and at least a GeForce 4 MX. You should be able to play Doom at a surprisingly good quality, Doom 3. But if you want anything better, you're gonna want to have to really upgrade to some expensive hardware. Okay, Rick?
Sounds great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for calling. It's spooky, isn't it? Ooh. Oh, we're getting excited.
Yeah, it gets gorier near the end.
Are you excited about this, Monica?
Oh, I'm thrilled.
She's a gamer. She can't wait to play it. Ooh.
Leo.
It's creepy. Yes, Vac?
Do me a favor. Please don't pick your teeth with the CN Tower.
Coming up after the break, Vac says, don't pick my teeth with a CN Tower. Monica's got some pointers for you, but first our call for help quiz. Are you ready to take the quiz? Here you go. Last chance. Here's the quiz question. How do you find your IP address in Windows? You look in IE Properties, you check the outhouse door, you open up the case. I think Vac wrote that one. Or do you use IP config? Think freely and then move to the website and give us your answer. We'll talk about it when Call for Help continues. Welcome back to Call for Help. Before the break, we asked you how you find that IP address, your internet address, your one and only unique internet address in Windows. And of course, if you remember, it wasn't so long ago, Andy showed us how with IP config, that's a command line program in Windows that is very useful. Actually, I think Andy's going to do a whole segment on the ins and outs of IP config and what to do with it. And
Secrets.
The IP config secrets of the masters.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. No, if you really want to get web traffic, the sexy IP config secrets of the masters. Guaranteed.
Sexy.
Million hits like that. Time for Monica and another one of her great picks. What you got for us?
I got something fun for us to do here with cursors.
This is good. Now she's using a trackball.
I'm using a trackball right now.
Which is because the mouse, we had an optical mouse on this glass table. You couldn't do anything with it. You know, you had to kind of. So it's kind of. So if it looks like she's playing with her thigh, it's not. It's she's got. Oh, don't move it. It was right
sorry.
there. We got a
there
shot.
You go.
There, you see? That's kind of sneaky. She's doing some sneaky trackballing. So show us, and actually it's appropriate because today we're going to show you how to change your mouse pointers. Yeah.
Yes, and it's by stardock.com. And I've got the web page up right now, so they've got a bunch of stuff that you can download.
They're the king of customizing Windows.
They are,
yeah. Object Desktop. If you buy the whole thing, you could get all of this stuff.
Cursor XP, right?
But this is free, right?
Yeah, this is free.
Everything else is shareware.
Yeah, and so let's just.
So you're using the normal pointer right now.
Yeah, just to. Oh, okay. And just go IP config, and they have a list of a whole bunch of different things you can.
So these are in addition to the ones that are built into, because there are quite a few built into Windows to begin with, but wait till you see what these look like. These get wild. I like, this is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. And this is a good one too, because when you're waiting for things, it's like, isn't this the one that blows bubbles out of chewing gum when you're waiting? Scroll down and see what the waiting icon is on that. Because I think this is the one I use. Oh, too late. No, on the control panel that you were using. If you scroll down here, you can see what other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See that? That's going to chew gum and blow a bubble.
Yeah, there we go.
We have to make it wait because it's the funniest thing. So those are all the different icons you get when you install that set.
There's this freaky one that I've been using.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It's a hand. Chris Perillo loved that. Former host of this show.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that right?
He liked that.
I hate these customizations.
I think it's too. I think it's too real.
Creepy.
It's creepy.
Look! It's tapping on the link.
Yeah. Look. See. Ooh. Ew. Does it drum its fingers when it's waiting?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's really.
That's kind of weird.
Anything else you want me to try?
This is called Cursor XP from stardock.com.
Yeah.
So if you go to the website, you'll see a lot of things there, but it's Cursor XP.
Like a yin-yang.
Is it only XP? I guess it is. You have to have XP to use this.
Yeah. Look at that.
What's the one you like the best?
I like the hand.
The hand? Is that
I don't
yours?
know why. I like it creepy.
Well, keep using that one. Make that be yours.
Oh, there's this gear too. Actually, I just want to show you. This one's kind of neat.
Yeah, that's for the robots among us.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a call, shall we, Monica?
Okay.
The bat phone's ringing. Who do we have?
We've got Colin from Toms River, New Jersey.
Colin from Toms River, New Jersey. Our next call for help. Hello, Colin. How are you today?
Hello, Leo. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What's up?
Not much. We miss you here in Tom's River.
Ah, yes. Well, we were taken off the air in Tom's River some years
Back
ago
when,
for the
Tomcat
Yankees.
moved in.
Yeah, the Yankees took over our spot.
Yeah.
Well, you're not missing anything now.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, but this show is on in Canada. You can always move north. No, Tom's River is nice. In fact, that's Patrick and Alex Wellen and I made an appearance down there. Did you come and say hi to us when we were down there?
I saw you out there. Remember, I was I called in the screensavers a couple years ago with the.
Oh yeah, I remember you.
The namezero.com.
Oh yes, I do remember that. I do remember that. Well, what can I do for you this time around?
Well, I've recently acquired a new 12-inch PowerBook.
Oh, you're a Mac man. You've switched.
Yes, I've switched.
How exciting!
Yeah, I've heard that it's fairly easy to program on. Like they include the Xcode and all that with it. And I've played with AppleScript a little, but I'd like. My webcam just dropped out.
That's all right. We saw enough of you.
I'd like to dabble a little more, like with Cocoa programming. But all the books that I've found have been. They've been for people who've been programming for a few years. Yeah,
Cocoa is a little tough to learn. I have to say, the Apple is kind of the perfect platform for somebody who wants to learn to program. Have you done any programming at all, Colin?
I used to mess with Visual Basic a little on Windows, but
VB is a great language. I mean, VB might be the easiest, most powerful language out there. The only thing wrong with VB is it only runs on Windows. It's the only drawback. I mean, I think Visual Basic is an amazing language and a very good language to cut your teeth on. In fact, a lot of professional programs are written in VB. No VB on the Mac. There is something called Real Basic that's very similar to Visual Basic. You'll have to buy Real Basic. But I do recommend it, and they do have a free trial. If you've used VB, Visual Basic from Microsoft, Real Basic will feel very comfortable to you. One of the nice things about Real Basic, too, is you can develop one program that runs on both Mac and Windows. So that's realbasic.com. Let me show you what comes with OS X. You get Python, which is my favorite learner's language. Now, Python's a great language, but it's really command line oriented. It's hard. You can do a GUI with it, Windows and menus and all that, but it's really not a good GUI language. You also get Perl, which is a wonderful. That's Andy's favorite language, and this comes built in. So here's a little Perl program I wrote back for the LAN party. To choose, this is how, I'm showing you a little bit behind the curtains for the Screensavers LAN party. This is how we randomly chose the contestants, the players. So it was just a little Perl program. But it's nice to have that kind of capability because you can do little things like that otherwise you'd have to go out and buy a programming language and it'd be a big deal for. You could download and install Perl for Windows, and it's free to do that. But it's kind of nice that it comes with the operating system. Now, you mentioned the developer tools, and you've got to go to the website. It doesn't come on the Mac. You have to go to, let's see if I can find it. I had it up for a second ago, connect.apple.com. And you have to sign up for a free developer's account with Apple before you can download the tools. And their tools are big. They're several hundred megabytes. But that's what's amazing about this. You get a very good, professional quality developer's package for free.
Yeah, it was actually installed when I got...
oh, really?
When I got the Mac. Well, the installer was on there already. And
that's nice.
Poked around, but I really don't know much to do.
Well, yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is we're doing the Xcode, by the way, and you just say, I hadn't run it before, so you'll have to set it up a little bit, and then this is it. I mean, it's very powerful. You say new project, and you say, I'm going to develop an application, and you can do the applications out of C, C++, AppleScript, Perl, almost any programming language. There are Python bindings for it. I mean, it's very powerful for programmers. I think, frankly, if I were learning programming, I'd run, not walk, and get OS X. Let me show you a couple of sites. I mentioned Real Basic. That's one of them, realbasic.com. And you said you were thinking of learning Cocoa. The one I would recommend is called the Vermont Recipes. Now, they've turned this into a book, which is very good, too. But it's a step-by-step... this is the great site, stepwise.com. is the site. It's a great site for learning Cocoa, and the Vermont Recipes by Bill Cheeseman are now a book, but they're all online. It's a step-by-step program that you would develop following their articles, and I think it's just a really great. They've really done a nice job here. It's kind of how I started to cut my teeth on Cocoa programming. You learn how to use all the tools and so forth. So that's stepwise.com. But I would recommend the book. It looks like maybe they've moved the whole thing into the book, which would be kind of a shame because it used to be online. Yeah, I guess they put it all back on the book and took it offline. Although you can get the source code. Anyway, this is a great site for learning. There are some very good language books. I got to say, that is a hard language, though. I mean, you got to learn C++ or C. You have to understand object-oriented programming. Do you want to do this professionally, Colin, or just for fun?
Just for fun.
Yeah. I think if I were just for fun, I'd get real basic. Because you've done VB. Andy, what do you have to say about for yourself?
Well,
you don't have a Mac.
I don't have a Mac, but I'm a huge fan of Perl because I cut my programming teeth on Perl, and it's a precursor to learning Java and C. Like the syntax is very similar. So if you want to move up, then webcam's back up.
Yeah, I would say Python is maybe even better than learning Perl for that particular thing. Yeah, Perl is unfortunately allows you to get some very bad habits. Trust me, you can make the worst Perl code in the world. But anyway, Colin, you're going to find OS 10 really a wonderful environment. Take a look at Real Basic. Download the 30-day trial and see what you think of it.
All right.
All right?
Okay.
It's great to see you again.
Yeah,
We're going to get the show back on in Tom's River. That's my goal, my one and only goal in life. Take care, Colin. All right, I'll see you later. Hey, it's time for another short break. When we come back, we're going to tell you how you can contact us and have some final words, too. You stay right here. Welcome back to Call for Help. We got a couple of minutes left before the end of the show. I know Monica can't stop watching this Doom 3 trailer. Are you all excited?
I don't have it, so I'm just
now this computer that we got is an Asus. It has a Radeon 9600 or 9800 mobility in it, which means it's got enough horsepower.
Sweet.
It's gigabyte of RAM. It's a Pentium M, but I think it's like 1.8 megahertz, so it's plenty fast enough to run.
Laptops used to be useless game
You
machines.
couldn't.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. I just realized you may not be able to play this on this laptop. Somebody just sent me an email saying id says no laptop, no matter what its specs, can play Doom 3. They've actually, now we'll have to check this, but according to this guy, he said, I should find the email. He said that I contacted Activision tech support, and they said no, it doesn't run on any laptop.
Oh,
that can't be right.
You've got to hack
that can't be right. I mean, it could run on this laptop. What would you say if, hey, is it a little computer? Oh, I don't want to run on it. It's got to be able to run on this.
We'll get Mark to work on it.
All right, Mark can hack it. That might be a good segment. Mark hacks the laptop to get it to run.
Yeah.
Are you more excited about Half-Life 2 or Doom?
Well, I was looking at the Half-Life 2 trailer last night.
That's a scary game, too.
Yeah, it is. But it looks really good. I
know.
Yeah, they've got this new weapon. It's like a grenade. But when you throw it, you actually, these creatures come from outside and they, attack your enemies. And
when we play this, we're going to lose so
I'm
bad.
staying well away from Monica. I'll tell you that right now. Can you be on our team instead of playing against us? We're going to get Doom 3. We'll be playing it in the studio. I can't believe we're out of time. What a fast show this was. I thank you for joining us today. I'm Leo Laporte for Monica Latanwa and Andy Walker. Remember, if you've got a problem with your personal confuser, don't whine, no moan, no yell. Just call for help. Have a great day. We'll see you later.
Kindly walk. Do not run to the nearest exit.